EGroup is a local IT consulting company that provides innovative IT solutions to businesses across the nation. Today, I talk one-on-one with the founder and CEO of the EGroup, Mike Carter, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Mike Carter, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the program.
Yes, sir. You are obviously the founder and CEO of EGroup, which is an IT consulting group. And I know that you all provide innovative IT solutions to businesses across the nation. What's new? What's now with the EGroup?
So, wow, that is a lot to unpack. But so EGroup is very much in growth mode right now. So we've partnered with some financial backers out of Texas, and we have begun acquiring companies, all so that we can continue to deliver what we call speed and certainty with cloud services and data center solutions for our customers. So the idea is to really legitimize our national coverage and provide the capabilities that our clients need in their digital transformation journey.
Now, how many of those companies, Mike, are you acquiring right now?
So we've acquired one. So we partnered with our new financial backer last October. We completed our first acquisition in April. We are contemplating another acquisition before year end, and then the expectation is that we may pick up another 2 to 3 throughout the course of next year. So the 24-month plan was to grow from about a $30 million business up to $150 million over a 24-month period.
And how have you all prepared for this growth mode?
So we, in a variety of ways. So growth is, there's 2 forms of growth, right? Like you can grow as you add people, and then you can scale a business, which is to set it up to really outpace the growth in either headcount or cost or otherwise. So probably 3 or 4 years ago, we got really intentional with narrowing the portfolio of solutions that we offered so that we could do them faster, more repetitively. So that was one way that we've prepared. The other way is we're very transparent with our goals and our team in a way that we can take that transparency and project it on other businesses that we're pulling in as kind of sister divisions. And so the last part is having a strategy that allows us to connect the work that we're doing with the work and the capabilities that some of these acquisition groups bring to the table, and then making sure that it's a very kind of a rounded solutions portfolio that directly address the needs of our clients.
And what are these clients bringing to the table right now, Mike?
So, we often talk about having to meet clients kind of where they are in the journey. But if I was to kind of zoom out and talk about what customers are trying to do, and certainly COVID and the pandemic has really accelerated the need to use technology and automation within business, and it's certainly for remote workforce productivity. But essentially everybody is trying to use information technology solutions to standardize and automate core portions of their business. And so we meet customers wherever they are in that spectrum. We consult with them, we design solutions, then ultimately we deploy and support them.
Now, speaking of remote work, Mike, how many of your employees have actually returned to work since, say, 2020?
I'm the only guy in the office today. But Quintin, we used to say, gosh, for the last 10 years, we've said that work is what we do, not where we are. We have always been a highly distributed workforce, right? In the early days, we would say our work is where our customer is, and we would spend a lot of time with them. But the reality of working in IT is that we can do so much of our work from anywhere on the planet as long as we have good connectivity.
Absolutely. So let me piggyback off of that, Mike. What is the biggest difference from, say, 20-something years ago when you started EGroup to right now when you think of IT?
The tools are better, right? And so that is what's better. So the need has never really changed. If you zoom all the way out, right, the role of IT is to help make the world a smarter and more efficient place. So that mission is largely unchanged. We just kind of solve that problem year in and year out with better tools and that allow our clients to extract more value from those tools. So, in recent years, the big emphasis has been on collecting data, weaving it together, and using these larger data sets, kind of multi-source data sets, to get better insights and better ideas of where to take the business next, or where to optimize next.
So what tools are you using right now?
So we use a lot of Microsoft tools in our business. So within the cloud and on premises for our clients, started with Windows, started with Active Directory, kind of a number of different tools within their portfolio. Even Word, Excel now is subscriptions with Office 365. So we do a lot of work with those platforms. In fact, Microsoft funds us to go out and do work on their behalf with many of our customers. In the security space too. We're Microsoft's number one provider of funded security assessments and workshops for kind of the corporate mid-market and enterprise space. It's a multi-industry segment that we spend most of our time within. We use a lot of tools from Microsoft, and then there are a number of other industry players around networking like Cisco. There are platform solutions and cloud solutions that you can deploy on premises from Nutanix. That's another big partner of ours, provides great tools for us. And then some data protection and kind of ransomware security products from Rubrik and Cohesity, those vendors. So that's our typical go-to-market kind of collection of tools.
Now, let me ask you this. What are those security assessments that you all are looking at right now?
So what we'll do with the security assessments is we'll engage with our clients. We will provide a little bit of education on what a good security posture looks like. Then we will help the customer assess their current security posture. And between that, this is ideal and this is where you're at, we get what's called that gap analysis. And that really clearly points out kind of where clients should invest to improve their security posture.
Wow. So what is that digital transformational journey for your clients, Mike?
So, broadly speaking, our clients are when we look at that digital transformation journey, the way that looks is they are trying to migrate from on-premises or older legacy solutions into something that is more modern. Oftentimes that's hosted in the cloud, wherever that may be. So kind of migration is that first step. The second step is once you've we call it lift and shift, right? You've moved everything. We tend to prefer the term move and improve, because the second part of that motion is optimizing, which is taking a look at all of these assets that you have and determining which one should be retired, which one should be redeployed, upgraded, and so on and so forth. And then the last step of that is what we call modernized, where we really move into taking applications, which is what most end users or individuals who are working with IT, they are interacting with applications, and we refactor those for cloud native purposes to take advantage of the best platforms that exist today.
And what are those cloud native purposes right now?
So folks that would want to use kind of a cloud native framework are groups that are interested in taking applications and extending those for scale and usability, also security. But it's just a better way to deploy applications that don't require as many moving parts. There's a lot of purpose-built platforms. We spend a lot of time with Microsoft Azure and their portfolio of solutions. Google has a platform, Amazon Web Services. That's something that a lot of folks are familiar with. All of those platforms provide those cloud-native services where people can create applications very quickly, and those applications can scale to millions and billions of transactions.
What is that ideal platform for EGroup right now?
So for us, the ideal platform for our clients is to use, if I redefine the idea of cloud, we say cloud isn't necessarily a destination. It's a model for how IT delivers value back to the business. So we're looking to get our clients using some form of cloud like platform, whether that's on premises with Nutanix or in the cloud with Microsoft Azure, or a combination of the two, which we call hybrid cloud. So using that for core platform services, and then also for end user productivity, spending a lot of time within the Microsoft 365 suite to include a lot of the security solutions that go along with it.
And do you know how many of your clients have made the transition from outdated and ineffective IT delivery systems and architecture to a cloud-based infrastructure?
Yeah, so at this point, we've got several thousand clients that have made that journey. And of course, they're in different parts of that journey across the spectrum. But yes, thousands of customers. And an interesting fact is that we've migrated several million seats of individual kind of end users from using applications that are deployed locally on their machines and whatnot into subscription services like Microsoft 365.
Wow. So how do your clients manage their entire IT infrastructure with your expertise?
So we've got clients who like to manage it themselves. They like for it to be co-managed alongside us, or they like to have us manage it for them. And we're very easy to do business with. So we have a number of different service packages for managed services that allow us to provide the expertise and the helping hands that they may need to the degree that they want it. And so we can tailor those packages exactly to their needs and skill level.
Now, how are you developing an agile infrastructure technology, IT infrastructure to meet the current and future needs of your company, that is, and your region?
So we have the good fortune, having done a lot of work with Microsoft and having won some awards with some of our other partners as global solutions partners. So we engage with our partners and they invest in our success. They keep us on our toes from a security perspective, from kind of what's coming down the pipe. We're doing an airlift out to Seattle in the coming weeks to learn kind of Microsoft's new federated security product. So we spend a lot of time learning on our own so that we can then bring that knowledge back to our clients.
So let me ask you a simplistic question, Mike. What are the trends?
Cybersecurity is always the top trend. Certainly right now, the number of cyber attacks and the cyber exposure, it's never been higher. So that is something that is very high up on most of our organization priority list. Secondly, is getting the most value from the investments they've already made. So optimizing what they've already invested in. And that becomes really important right now where there's potentially some economic uncertainty looming out there. People aren't really sure what to expect. So oftentimes that investment shifts to how can we get more out of what we're already doing. And then the last part is still many organizations have shifted their approach to supporting their end users and their workers with remote connectivity, remote productivity. So still a lot of investment and a lot of attention being paid to how can we keep those folks productive and engaged even across massive distance.
And what else are you seeing as far as shifts?
Well, what's old becomes new again. So, over the past, decade, there's been a big shift, especially here in Charleston where, we have like coastal storms, people want to get things out of kind of physical risk. And so this idea of shipping it off to the cloud becomes really desirable. But when we talk about the generation and aggregation of data, that all comes from what we call the edge. So there's kind of a shift to pull some of that back and find how we can meet in the middle, right? Where we'll have really deep business analytical kinds of objects that are stored in the cloud, but all of the sensor data is like Tesla would be a great example. Each car is a sensor, but it's shipping data back to the central kind of intelligence. So that's what we see as a trend is kind of cloud computing, what they call at the edge.
And you mentioned this a little bit, Mike, in the last answer, but what are those ever-changing business challenges today?
When you just come right down to it, all businesses are trying to do one of two things. That is to, drive revenue through the delivery of their capability, whether it's patient care or, selling coffee, right? So they're attempting to drive revenue while at the same time trying to control the cost against it. And, at times not like now, they do a little bit of both. So, those two themes never go out of style for business. And it's a great place for technology to play a role because there's always a fresh solution. Even if we solved the problem this time last year, there's an opportunity to solve it again this year with better technology. And ultimately, all we have to do is apply technology that achieves a faster, better, and less expensive outcome. And if it hits all three of those, then it's a great idea.
Okay, what is your company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats?
So on the strength side, it is our expertise in what we call the delivery of speed and certainty, right? That is what makes us unique and strong. And the idea of technology is that the quicker you can get it in and the more successfully, the sooner you can extract value from it. So that's why we talk a lot about speed and certainty. And we've got, decades of customer satisfaction data that speak to our role in speed and certainty. Weaknesses is it's a constrained labor market. We're out there competing in the world for the best and brightest, like everybody. We do have advantage in some cases because of the work that we do really lends itself to people who want to continue to hone their mastery of our craft. So someone joining our team isn't going to get stagnant too soon. So that tends to be a good draw for us, but it's still a recognized weakness. The opportunity for us right now as we grow our business and acquire other companies is to deliver more meaningful capabilities to our clients. We're really excited about that. But the consequent threat to that is, someone once told me, bigger company, bigger problems, right? Which is as you grow a team, making sure that quality is job number one, keeping that first and foremost, that is a recognized, potential threat, which is quality could erode if we don't have too many people that are dialed into our culture and climate. So that is very important to us to make sure that we keep that climate high and continue to create that culture of quality.
I'm probably going to ask another redundant question, but how do you obviously grow big and still be great?
It's I've never done it before. We'll have to have a round two and we could talk about it once we're a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But I think being really transparent with what your values are, right? So at EGroup we have kind of our corny acronym, like most companies do. We call it STRIVE, and it's sense of urgency, thoughtfulness, responsibility, innovation, vision, and execution. And so we continue to weave those into the work that we do. We talk about them often, and folks who believe in that and want to be a part of that, contribute to our success, and those who don't tend to, drift away. So, it's really, I guess, what keeps us on the quality path is making sure that our team to a person believes in that ideal.
Who's your competition?
Well, we compete often with our customers in interesting ways, right? So we'll propose things and they'll have to decide whether they want to do it or not. Or, we also have customers that are very large, and so they might want to do it themselves. So that can be competitive. We have major technology manufacturers that we represent that have professional services teams that can kind of do the work. We rarely compete with them, but it has happened. And then there are large national companies that we compete with that are built similarly to EGroup. They have different values and slightly different capabilities, but every so often we'll overlap with them and get competitive as well.
And let me ask you this, Mike. How is disruptive technology making an impact on your client's IT ecosystem and the workforce?
So we love disruptive technology. So, I used to say, if you think of something that's disruptive, it actually means it's innovative, right? And if you're getting disrupted, that probably means that you haven't been paying enough attention to the innovation that exists out there. So it's really easy to take disruption as a threat and flip it right into the opportunity column as an innovation. Learn it, master it, understand what it's good at in terms of delivering an impact or an outcome, and then begin to leverage that with your clients. So yeah, we look for disruptors all the time and try and turn those into innovators.
And what are those innovations that you're looking at right now?
So one of the big innovations that we've been really excited about is with a company called Rubrik, West Coast data protection, data management company that is really evolved very rapidly over the last several years into being a data security company. And, as you've seen in the headlines, we all read, other companies getting taken out with ransomware, shut down for weeks. It's very tricky to keep up with that. And what we find is that, the tools and the techniques that we've used in the past really lent themselves to building big walls around the things that we were trying to protect. Well, you can't continue to do that. It's like threats and countermeasures. It just keeps escalating and it gets increasingly more expensive. So what Rubrik has done is they've given you an alternative where the response becomes every breach is a recovery. So you really don't care about getting breached as much as you care about being able to instantly recover. So if recovery is your strategy, then ransomware becomes irrelevant. And that is, the best thing you can do when you're in an escalating situation or you have an opponent. The best thing you can do is make your opponent irrelevant. And that's what they've effectively done with their immutable ransomware platforms.
Now, how many of those breaches have actually had good recoveries post-COVID?
I don't follow the question. Ask that one more time, please.
Yeah, yes, sir. You talk about those breaches, and most times they have recoveries.
Oh, yes.
How many of those recoveries have happened, say, post-COVID?
Oh, yeah. So how many breaches? Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's probably, on our side, we're dealing with some type of incident response. That would be the category that, a breach or other type of cyber attack would fall under. We're dealing, just at our level, we're dealing with incident response probably once every couple of weeks on behalf of our customers. Some are less, intense than others. Right. We probably get some full-scale, incidents probably once or twice a quarter that are, significant in their impact. Industry-wide, I know Microsoft intercepts billions of incidents daily. So, I mean, it's ever present. It's an onslaught.
Absolutely. What IT risk, Mike, and data protection assessments are you looking at for the future?
So we're spending more time with a team called our CIO Advisory Services team, and this is through our new division, Enabling Technologies, that we added in April. And so one of the things that they are doing is a lot of information governance to compliance and governance. That's an area of need for us and for our clients is, a better understanding of kind of the data posture and how that data is manipulated and accessed and, kind of managed through its life within an organization. So that's an area of interest for us that we're building out right now.
How do you chart a path for your company in the new API economy?
So APIs, we love APIs, right? Anything that allows us to interact with different business systems, applications, and to manipulate information or intelligently glue different systems together. I mean, that's always a great find. So, it's not that we proactively chart a path so much as we wait for interesting questions to be posed by our clients and what needs they have. And then that helps us understand, how do we take middleware technology or some type of, integrating platform and connect it to all of the different applications or data sets that exist out there, and APIs are the way.
Now, how do you strategize from an architectural, workforce, and application standpoint?
So we have a team of very bright individuals that spend a lot of time together talking about what's new, what's coming out, and they have a leg on either side of the fence from kind of the architecture side and the application side. So we used to call it in the old days kind of the connected world, right, where we follow the OSI model and we talk about applications all the way down to physical infrastructure. So, there's a lot of layers that go into that stack, and you need to have specialists that are aware of all of those to understand what the impact of changing one is to the rest of the stack.
Now, how many subject matter experts have you actually added on since COVID?
Since COVID, we've added, I'd say 20%. We've grown our team 20%. If you include the acquisition, it's close to 250%. So we have a team of about 120 professionals today covering the nation, and we expect that to double again by this time next year.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Might be a silly question, but what does EGroup mean to you?
So EGroup to me is really this idea of passionate individuals who really have a desire for mastery around technology to come together and put together interesting solutions that deliver an impact. And we talked a little bit earlier where an impact has to be measured by being faster, better, and less expensive, right? So it's quantifiable. And we can put those solutions in our customers' hands to meet the challenges that they have within their business. So it's very purpose-driven in terms of helping American organizations become more competitive on the world stage through the use of technology, and then ultimately making the world a smarter and more efficient place.
Mike Carter with EGroup, thank you for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks so much, Quintin. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.